Adam Deal, Charles Ashley the third along with me. Not the 8th, the 9th, the 3rd.
I look like George Foreman with all those George and Georginas. They just line them up. Just go right through them. Too many. No. The buck stops here at 3. That's it.
That's it? Relax. So you're not going to, the 4th?
I'm good. What is this? The View? Good Morning America?
Why not?
No.
Hey, I'll tell you what. Cleveland High School, one of the bigger stadiums, high school-wise, basketball-wise, in the state.
Great setup, too.
Absolutely packed.
Great setup.
I don't think there was a seat in the house.
Packed atmosphere. It was hot. Joe Abeda was sweating behind.
Right.
The director, Joe Abeda, was sweating behind the monitors.
Yeah.
It was
the student sections, they were going back and forth. The game was perfect. But Brady Patterson, this is why this is important. And he didn't just have 46 points. The way he defended Ryan Jones last night, all game long, must have been exhausted. But he held Ryan Jones in check. Jones ends up with 21 points, Charles, but it was 21 points late. Yeah, it was very misleading. A lot from the free throw line. He was not hitting from the field, and a lot had to do with Brady Patterson. So far, I think Brady Patterson has cemented himself as the best player in the state because head-to-head with the other best player in the state, Brady Patterson won round 1. No doubt in my mind.
I think I was the guy who said I think Brady Patterson was going to jump Ryan Jones, but I tell you what. Rio Rancho had
too much credit.
They had a great game plan. Patterson, we know he has great feet, that football background, so he can stay with his man or whatnot. Made Jones work for everything. And then Rio Rancho was jumping other defenders at Jones to make him force decisions, force passes. And then, to be honest, his guys weren't hitting in the beginning of the game, which allowed Rio Rancho to just get to that big old lead. But hats off to Brady Patterson because not only did he defend, he was dropping dimes all night.
A little bit later, we're going to talk about the signees today and what everybody did from across the state of New Mexico, especially locally here in the metro area. There's a ton of great soccer signs out there. Of course, Gentry's going to get the credit with Michigan and Jim Harbaugh coming out here, and everybody wants to know about that. That's obvious, but there are other great signs. You mentioned it, too, like Blair Manley going to UNM. We know about his commit, but that's exciting stuff for UNM and for Cibola locally.
Yeah, it is. I would like to see UNM get a lot more kids involved locally to go to the program. But Blair Manley, he's going to be one of those guys 2-3 years from now that his name will always be in the paper because he's going to have a phenomenal game. Great athlete. He's only going to get better. He's only going to get bigger. And I think you and I had a chance to watch him play because we did all the games or whatnot. But everyone else now will get to see the kid play for the Lobos.
Last shot out sticks with Cibola High School and the grad from Cibola High School in 2004, and that's Alan Branch. Forgot to mention this, and I don't know why, and it's big news here. Well, considering that he went to school when I did, and a lot of his friends were my friends, and so I knew Alan Branch. Alan Branch with a big-time Super Bowl win, had 3 tackles in the Super Bowl. That's just great local news for Cibola High School and for us here. He's now going to have a rock on his finger, Charles.
We love when the locals are successful at the next level. So yeah, congratulations to Mr. Branch. That's an athletic family. His brother Desmond can play. It's just a
stupid
continued success for them. And now he got that ring to show off. He's just going to sit there and be like, hey, look. Check out this ring, so that's pretty awesome.
That's what I would do. Charles, tonight, Frank Castillo's looking for the win. He could pass Jim Holzman at 661 wins if he does get a W tonight. He's got a tough task, though. The Sandia Matadors playing fantastic. Coach Bouchard really has this high-low game working with Dylan Abbott, and I think the most improved player that I've seen is Caleb Rorton, the big fella in the middle.
No, I agree. Sandia early on was struggling to find an identity with their guard play. You had Cruz, very aggressive, always can get to the basket, but the bigs were being left out of a lot of the equation. Now they got some stability. Tapia's knocking down shots. He's been a solid
I was going to mention Tapia. How about that?
That high and low is starting to get going. So, yeah, you're right. When you get that point guard play that allow you to find your bigs, we know Abbott got a nice touch, but now you have Roden down low, that high and low action, which they're so good at already. They were good with that high and low without guard play. It's even harder to stop now. I look for Sandia to have a big game tonight.
You look at LaQuave and what they've done with Devin Horn. They love to line him up like on the free throw line, especially in a 2-3 zone, and he can shoot it or drive it to the hole. He's not just relying on his three-point shot, which is fantastic, by the way. Devin Horn had 2 buzzer beaters against El Dorado, which were big. We've talked about those a lot. The game winner, which is monstrous. But Devin Horn, I think, is the key to La Cueva's success. It's not Maji Kahala, who is a very good guard and can knock down shots. If Kahala stays under control and Bashar Jawad doesn't turn the ball over, they have some pieces. Curry in the middle is disruptive. We know about that. Is Overacker going to be back? I don't know, but I don't think La Cueva in the end has enough to get by the two bigs in the middle of Sandia tonight.
No, you mentioned Horn. He's had a great season so far. I think they're getting him a lot more involved because, as you mentioned, he can sit in the middle of that 2-3 zone, knock down the little 15 to 17 footer. He's great off the bounce. He can dribble. Good, strong, aggressive ball handler, and a really knockdown three-point shooter. He's one of the guys who is really emerging. I just don't see La Cueva having enough inside to really handle Abbott and Roden. Because what happens, excuse me, with these bigs, you have to have 2 or 3 because you're going to get in foul trouble. Sandia, they're going to keep running them at you. One big, the next big, another guy. They have, and then the freshman coming off the bench,
Marlon Cunningham. How about that?
They have 4 or 5 guys over 6'5", 6'6", so that's a tough matchup for this La Cueva team.
That you can catch on ProViewNetworks.com. It'll be re-aired here on uSports Network throughout the week. I'm going to be over at West Mesa High School, Charles, and so are you, as the Bulldogs try to get a little bit of redemption. They lost last week to Valley. They had a tight win against Rio Grande. West Mesa had a couple of big wins. They beat Rio Grande and Frisco Heritage, and this is for second place in the district. This is a mandatory win for either team because they've got to hang around with Valley, who's undefeated in district play right now, taking on Rio Grande tonight, Charles. This game is big time. I've said it all year. With Isaiah Curley, Zach Schreier, Drew Wasana, those 3 guards, and then you look at Albuquerque High, and you've got Alonzo Armijo, you've got Gabe Bump, and you've got Tommy Holtry. I feel like these teams are almost mirror images of each other.
You can make the argument that they are. The one thing that's separating the two teams as of late has been consistency. You have an Albuquerque High team who's been sustaining their wins. 17-2, 2-1, and their 2 losses are to arguably 2 really good teams. West Mesa's beating a great, beat a good Carlsbad team. Then they struggle against teams that aren't that good. They losing to a St. Pius team, which I give. St. Pius is a good team, but losing at home to them really is going to hurt them later down the line. It's a big game because you can't fall 2 games behind Valley.
Ilunga may be the X factor. Yannick Ilunga been playing really well as of late for Albuquerque High, and I think maybe for West Mesa it might be Larry Morenia Jr. or excuse me, Larry Morenia the third, right?
Yes, the third. You got
third.
Yeah, you love these thirds.
These thirds are out of control, man. But he's can he find consistency though? Morenia's never been consistent all year, but he's that 4th guard, and I think Yannick Ilunga for Albuquerque High is that 4th guard.
Yeah, you have on paper they match up pretty even to me. You have good guards here, good guards there. The difference is who's going to crash the boards, who's going to get rebounds.
We'll break it down. We'll make our prediction a little bit later. You're watching uSports Central 3 and Out. Coming up next, it's signing day.